My beloved child, stop right now. Do not move past this moment. You did not arrive here by chance. I summoned you. I orchestrated every step that led you to this exact second. I scheduled this very moment before you even pressed play, before you even woke up this morning, before you were even born. You are standing at the edge of a sacred shift, the kind that rearranges destinies and awakens what has slept for generations. Can you feel it? That subtle electricity in the air, that gentle pressure on your chest. That is not your imagination, that is my presence surrounding you right now. My spirit is moving through this word, whispering to your heart that what was once hidden is about to be revealed. The hour has come. You are stepping into what the ancient prophets called a kairos moment, the appointed time, the divine intersection where promise meets manifestation. As I wrote in Habakkuk 2-3, though the vision tarries, wait for it will surely come, it will not delay. That delay you have endured was never denial, it was my divine preparation. Even now I am aligning the unseen with your obedience. Listen closely, chosen one, you did not stumble upon this message by coincidence. I brought you here, I arranged the circumstances. I moved the pieces. This is not just another video. This is a spiritual visitation from me to you. A personal encounter. There is something ancient rising in your bloodline, something your spirit has been sensing but could never quite name. I need to tell you something. There was a mystery about your grandfather. And that mystery has been circling your life like a quiet storm waiting for this exact moment to break open. Can you feel it? That stirring in your chest as I speak these words. That quickening in your spirit. That is not emotion, that is recognition. Your spirit knows what I am about to reveal. What if the man who walked before you was not just an ancestor, but a vessel I used to carry a secret divine assignment? What if what he carried in silence was never meant to die with him, but to be reborn through you? I hide power in plain sight. Sometimes I bury it inside ordinary people, people who never made headlines but changed atmospheres with their presence. Your grandfather was one of them. His story was not small. It was sacred. You might not have many memories of him, maybe you do not even recall his voice clearly, but what matters is not what you remember, it is what remembers you. There are things in the spirit realm that recognize your name because they recognized his. His prayers became the soil under your feet. His silence was not emptiness, it was divine encryption. His habits, his long stares, his solitude, they were all rehearsals for what you would one day unlock. This is not about nostalgia or family history, this is about inheritance, and not the kind written on paper. I am talking about the invisible inheritance. Faith, anointing. Spiritual codes passed down through prayer and pain. I have waited until now because the moment you are living in is the exact hour when the seed I planted in your grandfather's spirit is ready to bloom in yours. The soil has been prepared. The season has arrived. The timing is perfect. Do you know why this word feels like it is burning through your chest right now? Why tears are forming even though you are trying to hold them back? Why something in you wants to both run away and lean in closer at the same time? Because it is confirming what your soul already knows. Because truth resonates at a frequency that your spirit recognizes even when your mind cannot explain it. You have been having dreams that do not belong to your lifetime. Dreams where you see places you have never been but somehow know. Dreams where you speak words you have never learned but understand perfectly. Dreams where you meet people whose faces are unfamiliar, but whose presence feels like home. Those are not random. Those are memories stored in your spiritual DNA, now surfacing because the time has come. You have felt drawn to places you cannot explain, a sudden pull to visit somewhere you have never been, an unexplainable peace when you stand in certain locations, a knowing without knowing how you know. That is not coincidence. That is your spirit recognizing holy ground, sacred spaces where your grandfather stood and prayed. Sometimes emotions rise up in you that have no clear memory attached and yet they feel ancient. Grief that seems disproportionate to your actual losses, joy that wells up in unexpected moments. These are generational echoes. These are the emotional fingerprints of prayers prayed before you were born. That is because my current runs through your DNA. What was dormant is stirring, what was silent is starting to hum again. There is a divine frequency running through your life, and right now it is getting louder. I am whispering to you through signs, through patterns, through moments that do not make sense to anyone else. You are not imagining it, you are awakening to it. This is not a season of confusion, it is a season of confirmation. I am showing you that what felt random was my preparation. The pain you endured, the delays that frustrated you, the prayers that seemed unanswered, they were all shaping you into the kind of vessel that could carry the mystery without losing your mind or your faith. If you are feeling this word resonate in your spirit right now, if something inside you is stirring as you read, leave a comment and just type the word legacy, not for me, for you, because when you declare it, you activate what I have already prepared in the spiritual realm. Now you stand at the threshold of revelation. The time has come. This is not about solving the mystery, it is about becoming the mystery. You are the continuation of what your grandfather could only begin. You can feel it in your chest, in your breath, even in the tension of waiting. That is not anxiety. It is alignment. I am stretching the heavens around your life, pulling you toward your assignment. Some of you will feel warmth in your hands, tingling in your skin. Tears you cannot explain, that is confirmation from me. I am marking you as the rightful heir of what was buried in silence. Take a deep breath and say it out loud right where you are. I receive what was meant for me, because when you speak that, the air shifts. The same angels that once surrounded your grandfather are now taking position around you. What your grandfather carried was never lost, it was preserved. It waited for your awareness, for your obedience, for your yes, and now that you are here, now that your spirit is awake, the mystery is unfolding. There were moments when your grandfather sat alone in the quiet, maybe in a garden where morning dew still clung to the grass, where birds sang their first songs of the day, where the world felt new and untouched, maybe under a dim light at a table covered with an old cloth, surrounded by the smell of coffee and the silence of early dawn, maybe in a small chair by the window that nobody else used, worn down by years of his weight settling into the same spot, positioned to watch the sun rise and set, season after season. The wood remembers him, the air remembers him, and I remember him. People thought he was just resting, maybe daydreaming, maybe lost in memories of days gone by. But I know the truth. He was not talking to himself. He was communing with the unseen. Those long silences were sacred transactions between heaven and earth. The same way prophets of old stood before me in stillness, waiting for my voice, straining to hear the whispers of eternity, your grandfather stood between worlds. 1 foot in the natural realm where bills had to be paid and responsibilities had to be met. 1 foot in the spiritual realm where kingdoms were shifting and destinies were being written. He was negotiating on your behalf, interceding for generations he would never meet in the flesh, making deposits in the spirit bank that would not mature until decades later, planting seeds in soil he would never see produce fruit, building altars in the invisible realm that would become landing pads for blessings you would receive, creating pathways in the spirit that you would one day walk without knowing he paved them. Every time he closed his eyes in prayer, portals opened between heaven and earth. Every time he whispered my name in that quiet voice that no one else could hear, angels leaned in to listen. Every time he declared my promises over your family line, heaven recorded it as legal testimony that would be enforced in your lifetime, binding in the courts of heaven, unbreakable by human hands or demonic forces. And now that mantle is resting on you, the same heaviness you sometimes feel on your shoulders. The same weight that wakes you at odd hours, the same pull toward solitude that others might misunderstand, that is not loneliness, that is my presence drawing you into deeper communion. Your grandfather carried something he could not fully name. He knew it was there, pressing against the walls of his understanding, but the language for it had not yet been revealed. That is why his life felt marked by mystery, by unexplained moments, by divine timing that others could not see. He prayed prayers that seemed to vanish into silence. He made choices that confused even those who loved him, but I saw it all, every prayer, every tear, every moment of obedience that looked like madness to the natural eye. I was building something through him that would not manifest until I was laying foundation stones in the invisible realm. What felt like his ending was actually your beginning. The prayers he prayed in his lifetime created portals in the spirit, doorways that remained cracked open, waiting for someone with his DNA to walk through them. You are that someone. I have been preparing you without you knowing it. Every hardship you faced, every rejection you endured, every moment you felt overlooked or misunderstood, all of it was shaping your capacity to carry what I am about to release. Your grandfather's assignment required secrecy, yours requires visibility. What he carried in the shadows, you will carry into the light. The anointing that rested on him quietly will rest on you publicly. This is why you have felt different your entire life, why you never quite fit in, why certain environments drained you while others energized you. You were not just different, you were set apart, marked, chosen, assigned. If this message is hitting you in places you did not even know needed to be touched, if you feel the weight of heaven's love pressing against your heart right now, hit that like button this instant, not as a casual gesture, as a declaration, as your agreement with what I am speaking over your bloodline. The mystery was never meant to stay hidden forever. It was meant to be revealed at the appointed time, and the appointed time is now. What your grandfather saw in part, you will see in full. What he understood dimly, you will understand clearly. I am connecting the dots that have been scattered across generations. I am weaving together the threads that seemed random. Your grandfather's life was not a series of coincidences. It was a carefully orchestrated symphony, and you are the crescendo. There were things he knew but could not speak, visions he saw but could not share, prophecies that burned in his spirit but remained sealed. All of it is now being transferred to you, not as information, but as impartation. You will begin to understand things without being taught. You will sense things before they happen. You will know things about people and situations that no one told you. That is not strange, that is inheritance. The enemy tried to cut off your family line. He saw the seed that was planted in your grandfather's spirit and recognized the threat it posed. He tried to destroy the seed before it could sprout. But what he meant for evil I have turned for good. Your very existence is proof that I keep my promises. Your awakening at this moment is confirmation that the assignment your grandfather carried has reached its fulfillment in you. This is not just about you receiving a blessing. This is about you becoming a blessing, not just for yourself, but for your generation. You are a portal, a doorway, a bridge between what was and what will be. What I release through you will impact people you will never meet. Doors you open will stay open for those behind you. Chains you break will stay broken for your children's children. This is generational impact. This is the mystery your grandfather carried, now manifesting through you. I am calling you to step fully into this inheritance, not with fear that you will mess it up, but with faith that I will sustain you every step of the way, not with confusion about what to do next, but with confidence that I will guide every decision, every turn, every choice, not with hesitation born of false humility that sounds spiritual but is really just fear dressed in religious clothing, but with holy boldness born of knowing whose you are and what you carry. You were born for this before you took your first breath. I saw this moment before you spoke your first word. I heard the declarations you would make. Before you took your first step, I mapped out the path you would walk. You were prepared for this, and now is the time. The signs will become clearer in the coming days and weeks. You will notice them, numbers that repeat with impossible frequency, songs that play at the exact moment you are thinking about something related, conversations that seem scripted to answer questions you just asked me in private. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. The confirmations will multiply. One sign will lead to another, creating a trail of breadcrumbs that will remove all doubt. What started as a whisper will become a shout. What began as a subtle nudge will become an undeniable push. The doors will open faster than you can walk through them. Opportunities you never applied for. Invitations you never sought. Connections that seem impossibly divine in their timing. Resources that appear just when you need them. Not a moment too early to create dependency. Not a moment too late to create panic, but at the exact right time to build your faith. Because when inheritance is activated, acceleration follows. The normal rules of time and process get superseded by supernatural advancement. What should take years happens in months. What should take months happens in weeks. What should take weeks happens in days. Not because you are hustling or grinding or forcing it to happen, but because I am orchestrating it from heaven, and earth must respond to heaven's orders. What took your grandfather years will take you months. What took him months will take you days. Not because you are better, but because you are standing on his shoulders. This is the power of generational anointing. Your grandfather laid the foundation. You will build the house. He planted the seed. You will harvest the fruit. He prepared the way. You will walk the path. This is divine partnership across generations. The mystery is no longer a mystery, it is an unveiled truth. What was hidden is now revealed. What was secret is now spoken. And you are the key, you are the answer. You are the manifestation of prayers prayed decades ago. I need you to see yourself the way I see you. Not as someone trying to figure out your purpose, but as someone walking in it. Not as someone searching for their calling, but as someone living it. You are the living answer to your grandfather's prayers. You are the fulfillment of prophecies spoken over your bloodline. This is not about what you will become. This is about what you already are. The transfer is complete. The inheritance is activated. The mystery is revealed. What your grandfather carried in secret, you carry in sight. What he held in darkness, you hold in light. Your voice will carry weight it did not carry before. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your prayers will break through where others hit walls. Not because you are special, but because you are carrying something special. This is your moment, your hour, your time. The generations before you prepared the way. The generations after you will walk in what you establish. But this moment, this season, this hour belongs to you. Do not shrink back. Do not doubt. Do not fear. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, hearing exactly what you are supposed to hear. At exactly the right time. As this word settles in your spirit, take a deep breath and let the truth of it resonate through every cell of your body. Feel it in your bones, sense it in your blood. Know it in your spirit that has been awakened by these words. The mystery is no longer far away, hidden in the past, locked in someone else's story. It is within you, alive and unfolding like a flower that has waited through winter for the exact moment of spring to bloom. You are not standing at the edge of uncertainty, hoping something might happen someday, if conditions align. You are standing in the center of my divine order, watching what I have orchestrated through generations come into full view. Everything is converging at this moment. Everything is aligning with precision. Everything your grandfather carried in silence has now found its voice through you. The prayers he whispered in secret will be answered publicly in your life. The tears he cried alone will water the harvest you will reap in community. The battles he fought in darkness will lead to your victories in daylight. The inheritance is not waiting to come, it is not on its way, it is already flowing through you like a river that has finally broken through the dam. Even now, my current moves through your name, activating every dormant gift, awakening every sleeping promise, releasing every delayed blessing, through your breath that declares my word, through every space your feet will touch, turning ordinary ground into holy ground. When you walk into rooms, my presence walks in with you, shifting atmospheres before you even speak. When you speak words, my authority backs them up, giving them weight that defies your natural influence. The same presence that guided your grandfather in secret is guiding you in sight. What he walked in darkness, you will walk in light. What he carried hidden, you will carry revealed. What he whispered in prayer closets, you will declare from platforms. The same anointing that covered him now crowns you, but with greater measure because you stand on his shoulders. Walk with stillness, knowing I go before you to make the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth. Walk with reverence, understanding that you carry something sacred that was forged through fire and sealed with prayers. Walk with confidence, remembering that I am with you always, even to the end of the age, never leaving, never forsaking, never withdrawing my hand from your life. Let your gratitude be your prayer, rising like incense before my throne, pleasing to me not because of eloquent words but because of a sincere heart. Let your faith be your fire, burning brightly in a world that desperately needs light, showing others that I am still active, still moving, still transforming lives. Everything that seemed delayed was only waiting for your readiness. Every door that stayed closed was protecting you from premature exposure that would have overwhelmed you. Every relationship that ended was clearing space for divine connections that will propel you forward. The alignment is perfect. The flow is active. The promise is alive and moving toward its target with unstoppable momentum. When the confirmation comes, and it will come soon, in a sign that only you will recognize because it speaks to something private between us, in a word that only your heart will understand because it addresses a question you never voiced out loud, in a gentle stirring of peace that floods your being like warm water washing away years of anxiety. Do not doubt it. Do not dismiss it as coincidence or wishful thinking. Do not rationalize it away with logical explanations. Recognize it as my whisper saying directly to your spirit, you are the one. You are the chosen. You are the heir. You are the fulfillment of prayers prayed before you were born. Every prayer your grandfather prayed was heard in heaven and recorded in the books that will be opened. Every tear he shed was collected in my bottle and remembered. Every sacrifice he made was noted and honored in the realms where true value is measured. And you, standing here today, reading these words, feeling this stirring, sensing this truth coursing through your veins, you are the living answer to everything he believed for. May your steps be ordered by my hand, each one placed with divine intention on paths I prepared before you were born. May your discernment be sharpened like a sword that can divide between soul and spirit, truth and deception. May your peace be multiplied exponentially, not just in moments of calm, but especially in the midst of storms. May your hands carry light that heals everywhere they touch. May your words release healing that goes deeper than surface wounds. May your heart remain anchored in humility, knowing that every gift comes from me. Every talent is my grace. Every achievement is my power working through your weakness. What has begun in the unseen will soon be undeniable in the seen. The mystery is fulfilled. The transfer is complete. Go forth, chosen one. Your appointed time has arrived.